Hi guys, and welcome to Paint with Mark. I thought today I'll go with something a little bit different because I've had a lot of questions and emails regarding if you can't get any liquid white. Sometimes it's not available, and obviously in this situation at the moment, you know, with the shops not being able to stock it. So I thought I'd just show you what I do. So we've got a pre-primed stretched 20 by 16 canvas. This is all sort of grainy and it has obviously been coated, but obviously with the liquid white it makes it nice and slippery and wet. So I want to show you a way of what you can still paint if you can't get any liquid white. So what I tend to do is I buy some quick drying primer undercoat. I know you can see it up there. You can buy this from any DIY stores, that sort of thing like that. And then I use some PVA glue, and what I do is when I buy one of these pots, I tip half of it into another container, like a plastic tub or container. So half of it I pour into a plastic container, and then I fill up the other half with half PVA and half water mix. And then I mix the whole lot in the tin. I don't know if you can see that there, but there's a nice mixture of white, which makes it a very nice consistency to go over here. So I'm just going to go over this and show you what I mean. So I'm just going to get an old brush, and it's very sort of like, it's quite thin. It's quite a thin mix. But basically you're just going to go backwards and forwards. It's a little bit sticky because of the glue element that's in there, but what it does, it puts a nice slick surface, like a barrier, in between where you're painting on top, and so it will mean that when we go to do the painting, the paint won't just sink straight back into the canvas and dry into the canvas. So all I'm doing is just doing backwards and forwards, long strokes, trying to get as much of the lines as you can out. Again, you can just be quite, just putting it all on, doesn't matter too much. Just spread it out, that's all. Backwards and forwards, just spread it all out. Keep going. I'm nearly there. A bit down there. But this, I found this to be a real godsend, because this will stop that drying so quick. So once you've gone left and right, I always tend to go up and down as well, just to make sure. And then get any hairs, remove all the hairs, come off. There we are. Now this will take, depending on room temperature, it's quite quick, within sort of 30 minutes, this is going to be dry. So we'll let that dry for about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on if you've got time to wait, but minimum sort of 30 minutes. Now you can let this dry and get some very fine sandpaper, some very fine grade sandpaper, and then sand very lightly over the whole surface, and then do this again. It's really going to make it really coated really well, so when we put a paint on, it's not going to absorb. So I'm going to let that dry, come back, and I'll show you the next step. Okay guys, now it's been about an hour and this is dry on the canvas now. So we're ready for the next step, and what I do is I get some refined linseed oil. Okay, again, you can get that from any sort of craft shop. I'm going to do that, and I get a little bit of towel paper, some kitchen towel cloth, fold it up into a little square, and then I'll tip that. I've got a little paper plate, put that on there, just to get a small amount on there, and then I'm going to use my tissue paper, my toweling. I'm just going to go into this, and literally I'm just going to swirl this on the canvas. I'm just going to rub this very lightly. You don't need a lot of this, just over the canvas. You get a nice shine, a little bit more over there. And I tend to use this sort of like blue sort of paper you can get from sort of accessory shops, because with the white sometimes all the little white fibres come off. So brand around, scrub it into the canvas. And because we've done this lovely coating in the background, this is not going to soak in so much, but adding this on, this will give us very similar effects as the liquid white, because this is nice and slippery and wet and ready to go. Now, if you're not sure if you've got the right amount on, you just want to look down the side of the canvas, and if it's got a nice sheen on it, then you know you've covered it completely. So just rubbing this backwards and forwards. There we go, all the way along. I should put my lid on here. So that now is ready to paint. So there you have it, guys. How to get round if you haven't got any liquid white. And this is what I do on a lot of my canvases sometimes, is I always put the primer on there first that we use. Put the primer on, let that dry, maybe sand it again and then go over it again, and then let that dry, and then apply just a little tiny bit of refined linseed oil over the whole canvas, and then we can apply, you know, oils on the top. And that just that little, by doing those steps, it just stops the oil from drying, and when we're trying to slick and do wet and wet blending on the canvas, it allows us to do that. So you may need to use also, when we're applying the oils, is just a little tiny bit of this linseed oil in with the actual mix itself when we're putting it on the canvas to get that lovely blending effects. So I thought that little tip will help you guys, and I've had a few questions about this and how is it done, so I thought just sort of today, just a little video just to show that. So I'd appreciate the thumbs up and subscribes and likes, and share this video if you found it interesting, and we'll do a lovely picture next week. Okay, so that's Mark Terrell for Pumping with Mark signing off, and I'll see you again. Thank you.